In the age of Sigmar, the cursed city of Shadespire stood as a warning to those who would challenge Nagash, Lord of the Undead. Many souls remain trapped in an eternal cycle of death and combat. Steelheart's champions and the Fast Riders, elite warriors of the God King Sigmar, had been claimed to the curse of the Mirrored City. Knight Incantor Averon Stormsire and his Cursebreakers have been sent to unbind the enchantment and destroy the Nightvault. As these souls clash, the Nightvault would run red with blood. Our heroes awaken on the shores of a forested grove after escaping death at the hands of Mollog the Mighty. What is this place? Life energy runs in abundance here. Are we still in the Nightvault? Yes, I can still feel the presence of Nagash, but there is something else here. Be wary.
Stormcast, you are trespassing on our sacred grove. Leave this place, or face our wrath.
Sylvaneth, we are allies. We are looking to break the curse of Shadespire. You can aid us.
Aid you? No, I think not. The curse of the Mirrored City runs deep, and we will trust no one.
If that is the way you feel, then we must prepare for battle. Stormcast, ready yourselves.
Welcome, Fano, to game number 3 of my Shadespire Nightvault narrative campaign, season 3, hosted by New Zealand's #1 YouTuber, the maoriwargamer. Game number 3, we have Stormsire's Cursebreakers, Elite Stormcast Eternals, up against Ylthari's Guardians, Ancient Sylvaneth, joining the battle for the Nightvault. Continuing the story where we left off after the shocking defeat at the hands of Mollog's mob, one of the most overpowered warbands fought so far. Very cool features they had. If you missed that game, go back and watch it. I'll put a link in the description, something like that. But yeah, get up, ready to go. Game number 3, one more game to come after this to wrap up this exciting campaign, and what excitement we have had. Long ways board set up. Should mix things up a little bit there. We've got hazardous hexes, obstructions, all sorts of shenanigans going on as Stormcast look to proceed with their quest at the command of the God King Sigmar to break the Shadespire curse. So Ylthari's Guardians, cool looking models, very nifty, very ethereal, ready to throw down. So we'll see what they have to offer as we go into activation turn 1. So turn 1 activation for Ylthari's Guardians. Ylthari herself has moved on to objective number 2. My opponent has then played a card, Leech Power. So the Cataphragms are not gone. Their life essence still hangs thick in these darkened halls. So Ylthari will destroy this objective number 2. He also plays Revenant Rage. The first attack action in the next activation has +1 dice. Alright, so for my activation, turn 1, I'm going to move Stormsire up 3 squares. Straight up 3, and he is going to unleash a Cry of Thunder. The caster unleashes a bellow of thunderous power that shatters stones and crumbles bones to dust. So we're rolling off. I'm looking to cast it onto Ylthari. We're looking for 2 lightning bolts. Oh, goes off. It's the first time I've cast a successful spell. So if this spell is cast, the fighter and any fighters adjacent to that fighter suffer 1 damage. Boom. So go into activation number 2 for turn number 1. So Averon Stormsire successfully casts his Cry of Thunder.
I call upon the mighty storms of the god King Sigmar. Strike down my enemies with glorious vengeance.
Lightning bolt effects, flashing screens. Go into activation number 2 now. Also, just playing the Aether Wing stance to give my friendly fighters +1 defense. Let your opponent's attacks flow past you, like wind rushing over an Aether Wing's feathers. Activation number 2, Amos Dawnguard has moved forward, and the soulmate with the big axe has moved forward as well, so going to activation number 3. Alright, so activation number 3 for your Ylthari's Guardians. I've got Galagan of the Glade. He's charging in to attack Amos. So he's rolling 2 dice. He's hitting on axes or crits. Well, 1 hit. 1 defense.
Oh, hold on. What additional attack dice?
No, that's over.
No, that was on. Oh, that was
Yeah.
his face. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And myself, 1 defense, looking for shield or crit. Shield. Yeah, baby. Let's go into the Stormcasting. Oh, it's playing a card. Spring Seed Step. A lone tree can be easily felled. Play this after a friendly fighter's... You'll have to wait till next turn. So my activation, I've simply moved Rastus forward 3 squares to end my activation for turn number 3. So we'll go over into the final activation for turn number 1. We'll actually just play a card, Confusion. Choose 2 fighters that are adjacent and switch them. So we're just going to shuffle Galadgran, the Glade, put him in the middle there so we got support when we fight. And we'll go into the final activation for turn number 1. Alright, so the Revenant Archer for the final activation is going to fire his bow into Averon Stormsire. He's rolling 2 dice, looking for the hammers or a crit. The wrong dice.
Oh, whoops.
You're lucky I'll let you re-roll it.
But you get 2 hammers or crits now.
2 crits. Only deal 1 damage.
Yeah, but still.
So rolling for Stormsire's defense. 1 crit. So it only takes 1 damage from that hit. Alright, so final activation for turn 1. Stormcast going in. Amos is going to attack with her Tempest Blade straight into, what's his name? Galagan of the Glade. So we've got 3 dice. We're looking for swords, crits, or support. 1 hit. 1 defense. Oh, he gets 2 defense on shields. Nothing. So it takes 2 damage. And that will wrap up turn number 1. We'll check if we've gained any objectives and redraw our hands. Alright, so no objectives gained after turn number 1. Stormcast taking out activation number 1 for turn number 2. So moving Stormsire up behind Galagan of the Glade. Stormsire is also inspired from his successful casting of the Cry of Thunder. So he's going to attack in with his Incanter's Staff. Into Galagan, supported by his mates. So we're looking for hammers, single support, double support, or crits. Anything but swords. And we roll a sword, but we also roll a crit. 2 defense dice you get to roll. Nothing.
Shield.
Oh, you just rolled that.
Yeah. I defended you against it.
No, because I rolled a crit.
Shield. Blocks.
No, crit.
Oh, crit,
blocks
not
a
crit. That's right.
Yeah. So you're taking 2 more damage.
Oh, so I got 1 left.
1 left. So we just had to review the footage because I delivered a successful blow to Galagan, but somehow he did not die. So after watching it, my opponent never applied the wound tokens, and that's why he apparently lived. However, with that successful hit from Averon, Galagan of the Glade is dead, gaining 1 glory point to the Stormcast. And we shall move into activation number 1, turn number 2 for Ylthari's remaining Guardians. Alright, so Ylthari herself is moving in for the kill, unleashing a devastating spell onto who? Onto Rastus. So she's rolling off 2 dice looking for swirls or crits. Double swirls, double hits. 1 damage each. So it's down to 2 more wounds remaining of Rastus. And now we're going into the second activation for the Stormcast. Alright, so Amos is going to charge in using the glory point that I gained from killing Galagan. She's upgraded herself with the lightning whip. She's going to make 3 attacks into Ylthari, looking for swords, crits. Yeah, just swords and crits. So 3 dice in, or dramatic. 1 crit, 1 wound.
2 defense dice.
Looking for dodges or crits. Nothing. So she takes 2 damage from the Tempest Blade, but also the Lightning Whip will deal 1 additional damage. She did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ylthari, we did not want it to end like this, but you leave me no choice. I shall have to send you back to where you came from. Yeah.
Yay. That's another glory point to the Stormcast. As we defeat the enemy leader of this warband. Not as good as Mollog's mob, are they? Alright, so with the death of their leader, the Sylvaneth are not backing down. Ylthari's Guardians have failed in their task, and all they're looking to do now is deliver death to those who killed her. So this guy here, his name is Skithafel. He's got a cool little blue dragon at his feet. He's charging in to take on the wounded Rastus. Hopefully get an easy kill. So he's rolling 2 dice looking for hammers or crits.
Oh, God.
1 hammer. And Rastus will roll in for his defense. He's looking for a shield or a support or a crit. And he gets the support from Averon Stormsire, who was next to him, and successfully dodges the blow. Very lucky. We'll go into the 3rd activation for turn number 2. Alright, so Rastus survives the attack and is going to return the favour back into Skithafel. Supported by Averon Stormsire, leader of the Stormsire's Cursebreakers. He's attacking in twice with hammers, crits. Oh no, he's going to use his storms. Yeah, hammers, crits, or support. 1 support, so you get to make a defense, 1 shield. Passes. Okay. Alright, so Rastus did not get the successful attack action, but the Revenant Archer is going to move in and fire his shot into Rastus, hoping to take him down. So he's 2 dice, he's looking for hammers, crits. 1 hammer in, 1 defense. Oh, he is safe as houses. And we'll go into the final activation for the turn. All my units have moved or attacked, so final activation, Amos is going to cast Empower. Goes off on a lightning bolt or a crit. Does not go off.
Cool objective.
Awesome. So that ends turn number 2. We took out 2 enemy units in their warband as a Stormcast, and also taking out their warband leader. So I'll automatically gain 2 objectives. Devastating Blow. Stormsire's battle wizards cut down their foes in a whirlwind of blades and lightning. Score if you took out 2 or more enemy fighters. And Blessed Banishment. The light of the heavens burns away the taint of corruption. Score this if your warband took an enemy leader out of action. So that's an extra 2 glory points, bringing the Stormcast up to 2. Ylthari's Guardians on 0 currently. We'll redraw and go into the final turn for game number 3. Activation number 1 for the final turn. Stormsire is going to attack in with his Incanter's Staff into Scafaithful. He's supported, so he's looking for hammers, crits, or a single support. 2 hammers. 1 defense.
Okay. Shield or support?
Just a shield. Or exclamation. So one of those hits are absorbed, but the other one isn't. So it goes through dealing 2 damage.
Oh, he's still alive.
However,
Oh.
Stormsire's weapons have been enhanced with great strength. This warrior strikes with the strength of a river Trogoth, plus 1 damage to all attack actions with a range of 1 or 2. So that'll be enough to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And gains myself 1 more glory point, bringing Stormcast from 4 to 5. Ylthari's Guardians currently yet to gain some glory, but it has been a shocking game for them. Yeah, well, I guess a quick product review. If you're looking at Shadespire warbands to buy, don't buy this one. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. We'll go into their activation with this dude who deals 1 damage at a time. Good luck. Activation 1 for the final turn. Stormsire's Cursebreakers versus Ylthari's Guardians. The Revenant Archer, last surviving unit. He's going to shoot into who? Wounded Restus again, eh? Go on. Hammers or crits? Double hammers. Ooh. Get 1 defense dice. So, he's dead. Rastus. 1 glory point to my opponent compared to my 5. He's done his move in charge. So, I'm going to go into the next activation, number 2. My opponent has also just claimed another objective. Score this immediately if you took an enemy fighter out for charge action. So boom, 2 to 5. That was a quick improvement. Alright, so I've just moved Averon into my opponent's territory as well as Amos. And my final activation, I'm just going to draw an objective card. But yeah, so
I got one.
yeah.
I got an objective card as well.
So my opponent's just drawn as well as all his options are exhausted, and that takes us to the end of the game. So we'll go through and quickly add up any objectives gained and come back to you. Alright, so my opponent gained this one. I don't understand what that means. Score this if an end phase of at least 1 friendly fighter is out of action, and at least twice as many enemy fighters. I don't think you do get that.
No, I do, because you've got 1 and I've got 3, so that's twice.
I have twice as many.
Oh, I have twice. Just give me the 2 points.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you because that's so convoluted. And also domain denied. Score this if no enemy fighters are holding objectives. So that's 3 for him. That brings him from 2 to 5. I'm currently on 5. It'd be nice to call it a draw there. Give us both the win. However, I get 2 for this objective, Conquest. Score this if all surviving friendly fighters are in your opponent's territory. So that puts me up to 7 to 5. Well, that was quick gaining of points for my opponent. Went from 0 to 5 in the last turn. So good work to him. I'll quickly wrap up this video. Alright, so that's the end of another exciting game of Warhammer Underworld's Nightvault. Game number 3, Stormcast victory. So they've won 2 games, lost 1. And you're going to make sure you tune in next week for the final episode of my 4-part Shadespire Nightvault campaign. Will the Stormcast be successful in unbinding the curse of Shadespire, or will Day 2 be claimed by the Mirrored City? Tune in next week to find out. This game, good game overall. I don't like doing the long ways board. That one's a good defensive one, but otherwise it just makes for pretty boring action. You can't cross the whole field quick enough. These dudes, Ylthari's Guardians, pretty lame. Mollog's mob, like we don't research them. Kind of we play them. Like really, we read the cards like 2 minutes before we start filming. So maybe there's more research or someone could do to figure them out. But otherwise, these guys are pretty crappy. At least in this episode, they were. However, will potentially be further Shadespire campaigns, maybe from the perspective of other war bands or just a big free-for-all. So something like that could be in the works, and we may get to tweak around with some of our favourites. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, Whānau. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you made it to this far to listen to this part, then definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share this video with your family and friends. And thank you for watching. Make sure you tune in next week once again for that season finale of Shadespire Nightvault Season 3. I am your humble host, the maoriwargamer. Thank you for watching. Ka kite. Anō.